The International Civil Aviation Organization has lifted its significant safety concerns on the Philippines imposed 5 years ago. It was lifted after the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines passed the safety audit conducted by the ICAO last February 18. How will this benefit the Philippines? And joining us tonight to explain the impact of the said report of the ICAO is Captain John C. Andrews, Deputy Director General of the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Angel.
Sir, to start, the ICAO report is good news for the Philippines, although this is just a start. How will this benefit the local aviation industry? And will this also convince the Federal Aviation Authority of the U.S. to upgrade our status from Category 2 to Category 1?
First, I think we have to begin identifying what ICAO is, what the FAA is, and also what the EU is all about.
Yes, sir.
To begin with, the ICAO stands for the International Civil Aviation Organization. This was founded in 1944, and it was born out of the Chicago Convention, which all civil aviation authorities are signatories to. The Philippines was one of the original signatories to this. The ICAO set up their minimum standards for safety, and each civil organization worldwide will have to conform with the minimum safety standards. Based on this, each organization will then set up their own regulations, comply with it. And this is the value of the ICAO. It is the organization that has control over all aviation industry in the world.
So, sir, just for the benefit of our viewers, what was written in the latest report, of the ICAO?
What was written was the CAA has successfully addressed all safety concerns. These are the SSCs, or the significant safety concerns, that was identified previously by the ICAO audit.
So, sir, when we say significant safety concerns as SSC, what are these, sir? What were actually raised by ICAO?
On the initial audit of the ICAO, there were initially 7 important areas that were not significantly addressed, and they comprised the significant safety concerns. When the audit ICBM, this is the ICAO validation mission, first came in, that was on the middle of August last year. 5 of the 7 were properly addressed. There were 2 remaining concerns, and we were given a few months to address these 2 remaining concerns. This was scheduled now for February 18th to the 22nd of last month.
Just briefly, sir, what are some of these concerns? Does this include the certification of aircraft in the Philippines?
Well, the last 2 involve operations. Ops 1, which is the certification of aircraft as to their airworthiness, also their AOC. So, now, this is a requirement.
Now, sir, is focus just on our local carriers flying to major global destinations as well?
No, the system and the CAP is this. All airplanes has to be first registered. This is a certification of registration. After that, there is an airworthy certificate that has to be issued after all the necessary safeguards as far as the airworthiness aircraft is concerned has been addressed. Now, if this aircraft is going to be used to carry passengers or cargo, it has to also comply with the AOC, Air Operator Certificate, to operate an aircraft for revenue.
So now, sir, talking of these concerns, you said first 5 out of 7 were addressed, and almost all 7 now. Am I correct? All these concerns are now lifted?
That is correct. All concerns have been lifted.
Now, how do you see this benefiting our local carriers? Are they now allowed to fly to more destinations, let's say to the U.S. and even Europe?
To put it mildly, the blacklist, as you may call it, or the black mark, the Philippines had been subjected to for the past 5 years has been now erased. Now, since all nations, sovereign nations, including the Philippines, have the right
Now,
to, yeah,
go ahead, sir.
they have the right to address the concerns. And we have been compliant with the minimum safety standards of ICAO. Now, other countries must also abide by this. They cannot impose their will on other sovereign states and require us to comply with regulations that are above the normal required.
Now, sir, just for the education of our viewers, we were talking of Category 1 to Category 2 earlier. It's an upgrade. So just briefly, sir, how do you explain this?
When we were downgraded to Category 2, that meant that all flights going to the United States would have to retain its present situation or condition. So if there is one particular aircraft that had the right to fly there, you could not replace that aircraft with a similar aircraft, different tail number. You could not increase your, nor could you launch new flights to the United States.
Now, sir, how do you see this impacting the government's drive, especially to attract more tourists this year?
Well, we are confident that once we have, as you have mentioned earlier, we have already addressed all the safety concerns. The next lifting of the Category 2 should be next in line, because it is now up to the US FAA to either audit us upon our invitation and clear us of the concerns that they may have.
So, sir, what does this mean once that happens?
When this happens, that means that Philippine Airlines, the only carrier flying to the United States, can use now their new aircraft, which is more economical, to fly to the United States.
So this is not an easy task, Civil Aviation Authority. How extensive is this mission to ensure that local carriers will actually meet the safety standards?
No, the local carriers have met all safety standards. What the FAA was questioning was the capability of the CAA to oversee or regulate
Right.
the industry.
Would you say that they're imposing on us for calling our airports unsafe?
It has nothing to do with the airports. It is the regulatory function of the CAA that was placed in question.
So now, sir, what do you expect? This is just the first step. So what is next after this?
Well, the next step would surely be getting out of Category 2, which we hope will happen in the very near future, because there are no longer impediments to our attaining this.
Sir, you said earlier this took you 8 months. Now, how long are we looking at? And a final word from you, sir. What do we expect from here?
Well, we can expect that we are going to have more respect from the aviation industry, since we are now at par with world standards. And we also expect other sovereign states to abide by the ICAO standards. With this, we are hoping that even the EU ban will soon be lifted, and our airlines will travel to Europe and all over the world as one great nation to another.
All right, thank you very much, sir, for joining us tonight on NewsLife. Good luck, sir, and we hope to see you again.
Thank you, Angel.
That was Captain John Andrews, the Deputy Director General of the Civil Aviation Authority of the Philippines.